This is Charlie going back to bed early morning in his Savic Mickey 2XL cage, which is 80 centimetre by 50 centimetre and 38 centimetres high. It's the same size as the Hamster Heaven, virtually the same cage, the same big front door, but it's got small bar spacing, 7mm bar spacing instead of 1 centimetre. So it's suitable for mice and dwarf hamsters. Charlie's a big Syrian hamster, but he's in it because occasionally we get the odd house mouse and we have to catch them, and I don't want a mouse getting into his cage, so he's got a mouse-proof cage. Down the side I've got cable ties. So the cage looks like it's got eyelashes, and these are because the gaps at the edges are a little bit bigger than 7mm, so I've just squeezed them together to make them smaller with the cable ties. And I quite like it with eyelashes actually, although it looks a bit weird. But I read that anything above 7mm a mouse can get through, so if you want to keep them in or out, then 7mm bar spacing or less is the way to go. It's a good hamster cage anyway. Having said that, I don't think it's big enough. I thought it was big enough when I got it because it looked huge, but Charlie's a big Syrian, and so he has rat-sized things. He's got a rat-sized Sputnik, a rat-sized tube, and a guinea pig-sized house, which he absolutely loves because it's big inside. And the door was very big, so I put this bendy stick bridge over it to make it darker inside, and that's why he loves it, because it's so dark inside. And he's built a huge nest at this end, and in this corner his toilet tray fits, his potty tray, because when I put this house in, he moved his toilet corner into the house, so I had to get another house because it got stained, and I put the toilet tray in there, and he's been using that, and he's so house proud he even puts wood shavings or substrate or whatever I happen to be using over the top of the toilet tray after he's weed in it to keep it nice and tidy and not smelly. So it's very easy to clean because he only ever wees in there, and all I have to do is change the potty, clean the potty out once a week. I spot clean in between. He does poo in his wheel a bit occasionally because there's not very much in there, so the wheel needs scrubbing out under a tap now and then. But other than that, he's a very clean little boy. So I've got a normal size Sputnik over here, which he does fit in, but it's such a squeeze inside it. I mean, it's not going to get stuck, but it's kind of not very comfortable. He can't move very much when he's in it, but I use that to put his veggies in at night, and he's got his normal food bowl there. So, and I put a couple of treats or little biscuits or something in here. So at night he goes in there, and then to eat the treats, and then he goes through the tube, and then he finds the veggies in there, and he goes in there, and then he climbs out the other end onto his lava ledge, and then onto the top of the hay house, and then has a nibble off his kebab thing, which I've just put a bit of apple and cheese on as a treat, because he had to come out of his cage this morning for a wee bit. And then we've got his vine log over here in the corner. That kind of makes it a bit darker in this corner, and it's something to climb up and hide under, and he can get on the far side of the Sputnik through there. And the tube, I partly tied that as just a rat chew tube, rat size 10 centimetre diameter. He can go straight from there into the tube and onto the roof of his house, and it stops him jumping out of the side of the Sputnik onto the ground, because although it's not that far, he could land on here or on there and hurt himself, so he doesn't jump out of it now. This side he can get out onto the vine branch, and this side he doesn't climb out on, and if he did, he got onto the bars. And then, oh, he's coming out again. Hello, Charlie. You wonder if I'm talking about you? There he is. Hello. Are you coming out again? See what's going on? I'm talking about your cage. Are you going to tell them about it? Yes. You're going to tell them about it. Come along. Come on, Charlie. Come on, there's a good boy. And this is your sand bath here, isn't it? It's just a small salt pig. He's not that interested in the sand bath. Occasionally he'll just go and sit in it. But apart from that, he's really not interested in it. So it's only a small one. And then he's got his log roll over there stuffed with carrot. Now he had one of these and he adored it, and he chewed it and chewed it and chewed it, and it got really manky, So I got a new one, and he hasn't touched the new one, like the old one. He's having a little drink. And the problem with 7mm bars, it used to scrape putting the bottle in and out, and he hated the noise. It used to make him a bit jumpy. So I got this bottle stand, which it's just a wood one, and it fits one of the small mouse bottles, which is just right, I think, for a hamster. And I always leave it slightly unscrewed to make sure the water comes out okay. I'm always worried about him not getting enough water. And I actually got that one from Roddy Pet, but it's quite easy to make one out of a tube with a hole in it. I didn't know that at the time, so I spent too much money on that one. But it is perfect to fit in the cage and doesn't take up too much space. And that's his 29cm Carly Wonderland wheel, which he runs around in at night. And that's a little Kerbal red bench, which he doesn't use very much anymore. It used to be down on the cage floor, and he used to use it as a kind of step up to a platform, and he used to sit and have a wash on it, which was quite cute. But it's still there as a bit of a level or a step, but he doesn't really use it much anymore. I don't think they make those. They do make them, but they don't make the red one anymore. They make a natural coloured one. And over there, that was a Christmas edition. That's his little cardboard hay house with coconut on top. He's actually posing. I can't believe it. He went back to bed now. He's come out and posed because I'm talking about him. And that's the newest toy he's got. Oh, is it frightened you? I'm sorry, Charlie, did I frighten you away? His K-Bob. And you can unscrew it and spike bits of food in between the chewy wooden blocks, and the bell rings. I don't know why it just shut off then. Maybe the bell frightened him, or maybe he just got annoyed with it. Anyway, that's a little cardboard hay house with coconut on top. And occasionally I'll sit on there and nibble off the coconut. Or, as you saw earlier, he'll strip off the hay inside and make quite a clattering noise, which he enjoys doing. Doesn't do it very much, but if there's nothing else to do, he'll do it, which is why I'll do it out of the cage more than in the cage. And it's a nice little hidey house to have in his pet carrier, but the old one had got a bit dried out, so I had to replace it. And they're not very expensive, £1 or £2, I think, and I seem to remember £2 or £3. So the first one was such a hit that I got 2 more, and I always put them in the freezer for 2 days, and then let them defrost, and then give them to him, because I'm always a bit worried that hay might have mites in it or something. I'm probably just being paranoid, but anyway, it gives me peace of mind to know that there's nothing in the hay, no live bugs or anything. So I don't think it's a bad idea, unless it's food, and then I wouldn't freeze it and defrost it, because it might have something perishable like egg in that isn't meant to be frozen. But if it's just hay or wood, I did that with the bendy stick bridge as well. Any of the natural wood items I've bought, I've put in the freezer for 48 hours first to kill anything that might be living in them, because I have heard scare stories of people having woodworm in some of these things. But that's just me. I did exactly the same with the vine branch. I went in the freezer for 48 hours. You just don't know if there's any little minute things living in there that could get onto him or not be healthy. On the other hand, maybe I'm depriving him of a diet of insects. You never know. This one I didn't freeze because that's just plain wood, and you can see it hasn't got any woodworm. That's a Carly, no, is it a Trixie? I can't remember now. Anyway, it's a guinea pig house with a flat roof. And they do a hamster sized one, which is about half the size. It's tiny, and he had that one and he just ignored it. But this one he loves because it's nice and big and dark, and it can travel around. It can dig little hoards everywhere and build a nest at one end, and as I say, his toilet's at the other end. That's just a kind of hanging loofah chew thing, which he's not really interested in, but it cheers the place up. He's not interested in toys generally, really. And this is a nice big door on the front of this cage. It's very strong and sturdy. And I've clipped it on, not the first clip, but the second one back, because that keeps it really tight. That's on the first one at the moment. Put it on the second one there. It's really tight shut, and nothing could get that open. He's never, mind you, he's not really a chewer, so he's never tried to chew his way out. And that is Charlie's cage, his Savic Mickey 2XL. And this might be a little piece of history, because I'm hoping very soon to get him a bigger cage, because I think with all that stuff in it, he needs a 100 centimetre cage, although he is a bit of a cage hammer. He doesn't really come out that much, and he doesn't really do very much apart from sleep in his house or run around his wheel at night. I think with a bit more space he might have more room for, say, a bit of digging like he just did in his pet carrier just now. Well, I think that was just to get out of sight, honestly, that bit. But he doesn't really have enough floor space, despite it being such a big cage, because the house is big, the wheel is big, the branch takes up space. He's got a stone under his water bottle there to sharpen his nails when he goes for a drink. That's a small piece of rough granite. And he's not really a bar climber anymore. I think it's because it's winter. He did climb the bars a bit in the summer. He's happy in there. He likes being in there. And he'll just go to sleep on you if he comes out. But I think he needs a little bit more space, and so I have an extra 20 centimetres here. And I think I'm going to get a 100 centimetre cage that's higher and have the whole of the base full of substrate. And instead of having levels in the higher cage, just make everything higher up with the deep substrate. So he's got space for digging if he wants to, and see what happens. Anyway, that's Charlie signing out for now, and goodbye.